Have you ever found yourself in that crazy-making situation where the more you try with a partner, the more they just seem to drift away? Well, in this explainer, we're going to unpack a totally counterintuitive idea. To get an avoidant partner to actually pursue you, the secret isn't doing more, it's about strategically, powerfully doing less. You know, all the conventional wisdom tells us, right? Just be a little more patient, a little more understanding, try harder. But what if that's the very thing that's not working? For a lot of us, the reality is that all those efforts, all that trying, it's actually backfiring. It's pushing them further away. And honestly, it's leaving you feeling completely drained. So why does this happen? Well, it's because of something we can call the comfortable dynamic. This is a situation where your predictable pursuit, your constant availability, and all the emotional heavy lifting you're doing, it basically gives your partner a free pass. They can keep their distance without any real consequences because, they can count on you to always be there, picking up the slack. And that brings us to the absolute core of this whole thing. Pursuit. It's not triggered by you accommodating their behavior. It's triggered by disruption. It's when you shake things up, when their usual moves don't get the same old reaction. It's about changing the entire game, not just trying to play your old part better. Okay, so how in the world do we actually do this? Here's our roadmap. We're going to start with the pursuer's paradox. Then we'll get into the real action steps. Reclaiming your emotional center, keeping yourself consistent, creating consequences, building your own life, and then we'll see what that shift to pursuit actually feels like. All right, first up, the pursuer's paradox. This is all about getting why your go-to strategy of doing more, more talks, more patience, more availability, is the very thing that's keeping your partner comfortable and distant. And this quote it absolutely nails it. The people who manage to turn this dynamic around aren't the ones bending over backwards. They're the ones who have that light bulb moment and realize, wait a minute, my emotional labor is the glue holding this unhealthy pattern together, and then they just stop. So how do you actually stop? Where do you even start? It all begins with reclaiming your emotional center. This is a huge shift from needing them to understand your feelings to finding that validation inside yourself. Now, the process is pretty simple, but it is so powerful. So step one, you feel the feeling, the hurt, the frustration, whatever it is. And this is the key, instead of immediately running to your partner to talk it out, you process it on your own time. Journal about it, call a friend, talk to a therapist. Then, and only then, do you decide what to do. You either act on it or you let it go. This just radiates emotional strength. And a huge part of this is learning to let those awkward silences happen. Seriously, it is not your job to be the entertainment director of every conversation, always rushing in to fill the gaps just to make them comfortable. When you get okay with the quiet, it shows you're secure on your own, and it kind of forces them to step up. Okay, next up, let's talk about maintaining emotional consistency. I want you to think of yourself as the thermostat in the room. You set your own emotional temperature, and you're not a thermometer that just reacts to whatever temperature they bring. You are in control here. And here's that thermostat idea in action. Your baseline emotional state, it stays pretty constant, warm but steady. It doesn't matter if they're leaning in super close or pulling way, way back. Your temperature doesn't swing with them. They quickly learn they can't control your mood with their behavior anymore. And this is the moment of disruption we were talking about. For the avoidant partner who's so used to being able to pull you in to warm you up or push you away to cool you down, they suddenly realize their remote control is broken. And that loss of influence, it's really disorienting, and it makes them wonder, whoa, what changed here? This newfound emotional stability leads us right into our next point, creating natural consequences for their distance. And look, this isn't about punishing them. It's just about letting their actions have a real logical impact. Just look at the difference here. The old way, they vanish for a bit, they come back, and boom, you welcome them with open arms and everything's back to normal. The new dynamic, they come back and you're still warm and kind, but that deep intimacy, that full access to you, that has to be earned back, rebuilt over time. They have to learn that a connection with you isn't just automatic. So what this all boils down to is you just stop normalizing their behavior. You stop making excuses like, oh, I know you're just busy, or that's just how they are. You don't have to lecture them, you just quietly adjust how much you give to match what they're giving. All of a sudden, their inconsistency has a cost. They get less of you. Now we're getting to what is maybe the most powerful part of all of this, demonstrating a full, independent life. Because here's the thing, an avoidant partner respects autonomy and self-sufficiency way more than they're attracted to neediness or constant availability. A super simple but effective tactic here is to shift from consulting them to just informing them. You stop asking, hey, what do you think if I make plans on Saturday? You just make your own plans. You live your life, and then you say, hey, just letting you know, I've got plans on Saturday. It shows your world doesn't spin around them. And this is exactly why it works. Your 24/7 availability might have been comfortable for them, sure, but it didn't really build respect. It's your autonomy. Seeing you make your own choices, having your own rich life, that's what creates that respect and makes them want to be a bigger part of that life. I love this metaphor for protecting your vulnerability. Stop giving away your deepest thoughts and feelings for free. Your inner world, it's like a locked level in a video game, and the only way they can get the key to unlock it is through consistent, trustworthy behavior. It gives them something real to work towards. And finally, you have to disrupt their predictable access to you. If you were always the person to answer a 10 p.m. text, maybe you don't anymore. If you were always free on Sunday mornings, you start making your own plans. It's not about playing hard to get, it's about breaking the patterns they took for granted. That creates a little mystery and a sense of loss that can absolutely trigger pursuit. So let's pull all these threads together. Let's talk about the big picture mindset shift that makes all of this work. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about playing games. It's about genuine, deep self-respect. So to recap, here's the new playbook. You take back your emotional world. You keep your own mood steady. You let their behavior have natural consequences. You build a life that is completely authentically your own. And you disrupt all those predictable patterns that kept them comfortable and you stuck. It is a fundamental shift in the power dynamic. And that leaves us with one last, really important question to think about. Yeah, these strategies can definitely trigger pursuit, but maybe the real goal isn't just to win them back. Maybe the real prize is building a life for yourself that is so vibrant, so full, that you don't feel like you need anyone else to complete it. Now that's something worth pursuing.